It's a sunny day and the airport premises buzz with people moving in and out. Outside the airport, 3 young men in their early 30s are seen discussing and throwing hearty jokes. Matt, Sean, and Sam at a first glance look like the average young men on the street. But this isn't their reality. They graduate from petty criminals to car thieves. They have a mode of robbery where they first try to gain familiarity with the victim. They tactically steal the key and make a copy of it, then put a car tracker to enable them to follow and steal the cars. Today is no different. They need to pick a car as soon as possible, but also need their victim to be empathetic and not discerning. As they speak, they see the perfect car and opportunity. As soon as the car drives in, Sam jumps on the moving vehicle pretending to be hit and hurt. The driver of the car, a young woman, runs out of the car in a panic, afraid she might have killed or injured someone. As soon as they see the driver out, Matt and Sean begin the next course of action. The first step is to create a scene and draw attention to the commotion. Sam groans in pain, pretending to be severely injured and possibly in need of medical attention. Matt steals the car key and makes a replica without anyone suspecting. Then, Sean offers to take the injured Sam to the hospital. On the other side of the airport, while the commotion is ongoing, Ginny exits the airport waiting lounge to the park, where she awaits to be picked up. Ginny is excited to be back to a familiar environment. She just graduated from college. Her cousin Fijan has just arrived to pick her up from the airport and take her back home. As soon as Ginny sees her, she runs to give her a warm embrace. It has been ages since they last saw each other. As they drive back home, Fijan tells Ginny that all the other family members couldn't make it to welcome her back from school because they decided to go on an emergency vacation to Rome. Hearing this saddens Ginny, and she expresses her displeasure over her family choosing a mere vacation over staying back and celebrating her graduation from college. Unknown to Ginny, her family members are organizing a surprise birthday party in the house. They have invited some of her friends and relatives. As she arrives at the house, everywhere is quiet. She goes over to the sitting room, and her cousin follows her quietly, anticipating her reaction from the surprise. As she opens the curtain to the backyard, everyone screams, "Surprise!" She is taken aback to see everyone together. As she walks down the stairs, they all begin to clap. Her dad, Mr. Fred, welcomes her with a hug. Her mom, grandmom, and baby brother all take turns hugging her and congratulating her on her academic feats. Ginny turns to Fijan and jokingly demands why she didn't give her a clue about what the family was planning. Her dad announces that they are all traveling to Rome the next day to continue celebrating her graduating from college 1 year earlier, stating that her mom has made all adequate preparations. Ginny is called upon to give a speech and everyone is eager to hear what she has to say. However, she has been feeling unwell for a while. At first, she waves it off as school stress, but the chronic fatigue still persists. As she is about to give a vote of thanks to everyone present, she feels unable to say anything. Her feet are wobbling and she is losing consciousness. Her silence surprises everyone. They are as confused as she is. Soon, she falls to the ground, and there is general scrambling and panic. Her dad tries to revive her while her mom calls the ambulance. In the next scene, the 3 thieves successfully steal 3 luxury cars, and they are happy. They all hope this will be enough to repay Master Ali for all the years he has taken them under his tutelage. Matt, Sam, and Sean all have the same lived experiences. They do not know who their families are. All they can remember is being on the street at a young age before Master Ali picked them and taught them the act of stealing. They slowly graduate from pickpocketing to luxury car thieves. Master Ali promises them freedom and tells them that he will reveal who their families are and where they are from if they steal enough cars to cover the expenses he has accrued taking care of them. They are excited to see him today and, if possible, buy their freedom and identity of their family. They are in the master's house. Matt places the car keys of the stolen vehicle before the master, who commends their effort. Matt decides to speak on behalf of others. He tells Master Ali that they are able to present him with high-quality merchandise, and it's his time to complete the other side of the bargain by telling them where to find their parents. Master Ali stands up and walks around. He tells them that even though they have done a great job, he isn't impressed. He hopes to get more cars from them. 3 cars don't cut it for him. He reminds them how he picked them from the streets, fed and groomed them. Matt responds to him that they appreciate all he has done for them, but their sole wish is to find their families. Master Ali informs them that Fethay, one of his boys, will mail them an address. It's the residence of a wealthy man. They have to go in there and take valuable properties. He says it should be a quick and easy job. This scene shows Ginny in the hospital, surrounded by her parents and relatives. They all look worried. Ginny is awake as the doctor enters her room. Mr. Fred, her dad, immediately asks the doctor what the problem is, and the doctor responds that he has to speak to him at his office. As they get into his office, the doctor tells Mr. Fred that the medical test results aren't pleasant. He reveals to him that his daughter's test results shows she has acute liver failure, and there's a need for an emergency liver transplant. If it's not carried out fast, he may lose his daughter. The news is a big shock for Mr. Fred, and he collapses into a chair. While this is ongoing, the 3 thieves are at the address Master has given them to break in. It's the residence of Mr. Fred. They are surveying the house and strategizing on the course of action. Unit informs them that the man and his kids will be going for a vacation soon. They all take notes on the position of the security cameras in the house, planning how to dismantle or avoid them on their way in, as well as their exit and entrance and mode of transportation. Meanwhile, Ginny's family is heartbroken over the news. They are having a meeting to discuss her diagnosis. Her grandmother asks for the course of action. Mr. Fred tells them that she needs to have a transplant surgery, or she will die. He tells them that he will put up an advert, and anyone who agrees to donate will be compensated by him with 1 million lira. Ginny is back home, and her father has just disclosed her health prognosis, leaving her feeling downcasted. None of her family so far is a match for her surgery. Ginny feels life is being cruel. She can't shake the feeling that she may die young. She sits in her room, sobbing quietly. Her mother comes in to cheer her up. Ginny cries into her mother's arms. She tells her of her fears. Her mother pulls her into a warm embrace and assures her that she will be fine. She encourages Ginny to face her fears and not give up on her dreams. In their trailer home, the three thieves are sitting together, a day before their planned robbery of Mr. Fred's residence. As they drink coffee, they discuss their plans for life after they have secured their freedom from their master. Sean suggests that they should continue stealing cars to make ends meet, while Matt strongly disagrees. He is more concerned with reconnecting with his family and starting anew. Despite their differences, the three agree that if they are caught, they will all claim to be insurance officers sent to inspect the apartment. They are confident it will be the last heist. Despite the bad news about Ginny's health, the family agrees that a change of environment would do them a lot of good. They are still vacationing in Rome despite the uncertainties. As they make their way to the vehicle that will convey them to the airport, three thieves watch from a distance. As soon as they spot the family drive out, they begin their first course of action, which is to have Sega dismantle the security cameras. Meanwhile, as they make their way to the airport, Ginny realizes she has forgotten to wear her necklace and pleads for them to go back so she can pick it up. Unbeknownst to them, a group of thieves is ransacking their apartment for valuables to steal. Sega sees the necklace belonging to Ginny and immediately pockets it. While Matt is ransacking the drawers, his eyes catch sight of the most captivating eyes he has ever come across. He loses his breath for a moment as he stares into the picture of Ginny. Just then, Ginny walks in and sees the intruders in her house. She begins to panic and asks who he is. Just then, the other two show up. Matt is about to say he is an insurance personnel when Ginny's dad and the others walk in. They are surprised to see the men in the apartment. But Mr. Fred thinks they are people that are responding to his advert for liver donors. He asks them if they are from the advert he placed, even though they have no clue what he is asking. They affirm that they are donors. Ginny's dad tells them there is no time to waste and reiterates his promise of giving 100 million lira to whoever becomes a suitable match to his daughter. As soon as they hear of the compensation, they become very interested. Mr. Fred tells them there is no time to waste as they are going to the hospital right away to collect their sample to run a compatibility test to see who is most suitable. They are all waiting at the reception of the hospital to receive the test results. Soon, the result is out and the doctor announces it. He tells them that Sumit is compatible, but the excessive alcohol he consumes has started to affect his liver. Matt is the most suitable, so he is automatically chosen as the donor. The family is excited about this. The doctor tells Matt to maintain a healthy diet as the transplant is scheduled to take place in 3 weeks. Ginny's dad writes a check for half of the compensation money, and the remaining amount will be paid after the surgery is carried out. Matt is clearly drawn to Ginny's beauty, and he is captivated by her alluring presence. Back at the trailer home, the scene shows the three men drinking tea happily, and Matt has cashed the check issued to him. As they think about the way forward with their master and securing their freedom, Matt comes up with an ingenious plan. He explains that they should not give Master Ali all the compensation money from the transplant surgery as payment in exchange for their freedom, as that was what they had agreed on before. He suggests that they should give some of the original money to Master Ali to buy his trust, and then print some fake money mixed with real money to pay for their secured freedom. After that, they could use the remaining money to take care of themselves. They all go to Master Ali's house with 100,000 lira which they present to him, with the promise of bringing more later. They tell him they hope the sum of money is enough to buy their freedom from him as they appreciate all he has done for them, as they only wish to be reconciled with their families. Master Ali appreciates their act of showing gratitude and respect. He tells them to bring the remaining money after the surgery with the threat that if anything affects the sum, he will not take it lightly on them as they will be greatly punished. Ginny's family is outside and having a family time. Mr. Fred tells them he wants to invite Matt to the house to be taken care of until after the surgery. Matt agrees to this and moves in with the family. His friends Sean and Sumit are still going through with the plan of making counterfeit currency. They approach Sesame, who owns a printing press. At first, the old impoverished-looking man thinks they are insane with the amount of money they want him to print. But as soon as he is paid real money, he decides to help them. Matt is currently spending a few days with the Ginny family, and he notices that he is being placed on a strict diet of mainly vegetables as prescribed by the doctor. He isn't used to such a pattern of eating. He is barely full, so tonight his stomach is growling from hunger. Sleep evades him. Matt leaves his room and tiptoes to the kitchen to find something to eat. As he enters the kitchen, he runs into Ginny, who is surprised to see him there who's also on diet. and is also eating. The realization makes the two of them laugh. After eating, they both are outside, getting to know each other. Ginny asks him what he does for a living and he is silent for a moment before telling her he is an entrepreneur. He buys products at low cost and adds his profit to it. She's impressed by this. As they speak, she begins to gaze at the stars. Matt asks her what she wishes for and she responds that she wishes to get her old health back and also to find her necklace. Matt feels guilty when he hears this. He knows that his friend Sam stole the necklace when they robbed the residence. She tells him that the necklace is an heirloom that brought a lot of luck to her ancestors. Hearing this intensifies his guilt. Matt is irresistibly drawn to Ginny. Her eyes are captivating, and she has the most beautiful smile. He always seeks for opportunities to be close to her. The next morning, Mr. Fred informs him that the family is going to the hospital for their routine checkup and won't be back for a while, so he has the whole house to himself. Immediately after they leave, Matt calls his pals to come over for a good time. Sam and Sean are excited about the invite. As soon as they arrive, they begin to party and grill barbecue. Sam brings in alcohol, which Matt refuses as it's prohibited by the doctor, but they convince him to consume it, as a little would cause no harm. They all have fun partying, and soon they succumb to exhaustion. The Ginny family arrives at their home and are shocked to find Matt and his friends passed out drunk, with bottles of alcoholic drinks littered all over the house. Shortly after, they all wake up, feeling ashamed of what transpired. Sam and Sean take their leave, and Ginny's mother expresses her disappointment in Matt. She reminds him that he needs to maintain a strict diet and stay away from ingesting any alcoholic content. She emphasizes that his reckless behavior is putting the success of his surgery in jeopardy. As they all retire for the night, Matt hears Ginny crying, and the sound breaks his heart. He goes over to her room, gently opens her door, and sees her hugging her stuffed teddy while crying. He sits on her bed. Ginny turns her face away from him and hugs her knees. He apologizes for his earlier actions, acknowledging that it was an indiscretion on his part and that he isn't proud of it. She tells him that her sadness isn't because of the earlier incident. She reveals to him she tries to forget her medical situation, and the fact that she could not make it makes her sad. Matt reassures her that everything will be fine. He reminds her that she has a loving family that is standing behind her, and he uses his hand to wipe away her tears. He asks if she's hungry, and she says yes. He promises to make her a sandwich. Just then, there's a knock at the door. Ginny's grandmother opens it, and Matt quickly hides behind a chair until she leaves. Matt spends the first and second weeks at the Ginny family house, and he is growing a genuine friendship with Ginny and other members of her household. He enjoys her company and looks forward to their nightly discussions about their dreams and life philosophy. However, Matt is struggling with being his authentic self around Ginny, as he presented lies and deceit about himself. He fears that the truth will eventually come out, and she may come to hate him, which is his biggest fear. Despite his fears, Matt is determined to regain Ginny's trust by retrieving the necklace that she values so much. He is willing to do whatever it takes to get it back. Master Ali has yet to receive any valuable items, be it in merchandise or cash, from the three friends. He summons them and gives them a tour of his greenhouse where he cultivates an impressive array of wild and exotic plant species. During their conversation, Master Ali queries them about their failure to present anything to him. Sam bluntly replies that they are waiting on money from the Ginny family and therefore, they don't feel compelled to work for him. This response triggers Master Ali's anger, leading him to slap Sam. Unit is surprised as Sean brings out the necklace belonging to Ginny he has stolen from their residence. He had asked him a day before where the necklace was and he claimed it was in his safekeeping. Seeing him give Master Ali angers him. He intends to give it back to Ginny as it's her cherished heirloom. He confronts them as they leave and they attack him, saying he has changed since he moved in with the rich man. They claim he's forgotten their mission, and his entire focus is on the new girl. This doesn't go well with Matt, who announces to them he's done with the whole deal. He tells them once he gets his share, he will leave and go find his family and begin a new life. As the evening wears on, Matt makes a momentous decision. He will tell Ginny the truth. He can no longer bear the burden of deception, especially as he senses that the truth may soon come out anyway. Despite the fact that Ginny is falling for him, he knows he owes her the truth. He respects her too much to continue the charade. No matter how she may react to his confession, he is determined to fulfill his promise to be her donor. Even if she ends up despising him, he will honor his commitment and then leave the city to start afresh. As he stands outside her door, Matt knows that what he's about to do will change everything. With a deep breath, he knocks, and when she invites him in, he sees her reading in bed. Matt knew this is the biggest decision he would ever take in his life. He approaches her slowly, and after a minute of hesitation, he tells her that there's something important he needs to say. As he speaks, he can see that she's uncomfortable, and he knows that this is the hardest thing he's ever done. He put Ginny's hands in his and looks into her eyes as he tells her the whole truth about himself and what they were doing at her house. His friends, Sean and Sam, never saw the announcement her father placed. They were there to rob the house and had no idea that the whole family would show up. They acted on what her father said to avoid further suspicion from him. He awaits her reaction, his heart pounding in his chest. But no matter how she responds or the actions she would take, he's determined to make things right. He'll honor his promise to be Ginny's donor, and if she disdains him for what he's done, he'll leave the city and start over somewhere else. Because no matter what happens, he knows that telling her the truth was the only and right thing he could do. Ginny is surprised to hear Matt's confession, finding it difficult to reconcile the young man she loves who is willing to give up his liver to save her with the social miscreant he admits to being. She asks him to leave, needing time to process her current reality, and wondering how much more he may be hiding. Matt understands that his reality may be hard for her to comprehend or accept. He only hopes she will give him the chance to prove that he genuinely cares for her and is willing to do anything for the love they share. He hops on his bike and rides to the motorhome where he resides with his friends. As he arrives, Sam and Segu are surprised to see him so soon. He apologizes for his actions yesterday and they reconcile. He makes them aware of his plan to take back the necklace which Sam had given their master and give it back to Ginny, as it holds important sentimental value to her. They promise you to help him. Ginny wakes up to find her necklace and a note by the side of her bed. She feels a surge of joy, knowing that Matt must have left it for her. As she reads through the note, she gains a deeper understanding of Matt's character, realizing that he is a good person who was forced into a questionable lifestyle by the harsh realities of life. Despite his past, Ginny feels that Matt has shown her a level of respect and honesty that she cannot ignore. She decides not to judge him harshly based on his previous actions, and instead focuses on the person he has revealed himself to be. She goes out and sees the bouquet of flowers he left outside the window. Seeing the address of his home on the note, she feels moved to pay him a visit. Ginny is at the hospital, and her parents are tense and apprehensive. Last night, Matt was happy to see Ginny visiting him at his humble abode. Matt uses a lifting device to raise the vehicle, allowing them to have a better view of the sky and stars. As they sit together, they share stories about their past and aspirations for the future. The romantic setting creates a magical moment between them, and they share their first passionate kiss. Mr. Fred is livid with Matt for taking Ginny out late at night without her parents' knowledge or consent, despite being aware of her health issues and endangering her well-being. The disappointment in Matt is evident. Meanwhile, Ginny tries to calm the situation by reassuring Matt not to take her parents' disapproval to heart. She explains that she enjoyed herself with him and felt alive, momentarily forgetting her ailment. Just then, the doctor enters with sad news. Ginny's condition has deteriorated significantly, and she requires an emergency transplant the next morning. Mr. Fred, keen on fulfilling his end of the bargain, hastily writes a check to Matt for the outstanding balance, and urges him to come prepared for the surgery the following day. The early morning of the next day, Matt goes to the bank to withdraw the money. With his two friends, he proceeds to Master Ollie's house to give him the money and secure their freedom. They also hope to learn the identities of their parents so they can be independent of Master Ollie. Upon seeing the money, Master Ollie appears pleased. However, when they ask about their parents, Master Ollie sneers at them and cruelly insists that they have no families. As they realize the truth, it dawns on them that Master Ollie had been using their desire to find their families as leverage to keep them working for him. Matt becomes furious and attempts to attack Master Ollie, but he is quickly held back by his bodyguards. Sam convinces him to let it go, and they prepare to leave. However, as they are about to depart, one of Master Ollie's boys informs him that the money they brought is counterfeit. Matt is shocked by the accusation and immediately presents the check receipt to Master Ollie, proving that he cashed genuine money from the bank. However, it turns out that Sam had switched Matt's legitimate money with counterfeit bills for his own benefit. When confronted, Sam confesses to swapping the money and accuses Matt of pursuing a wealthy man's child in order to secure a prosperous future. He defends his actions, claiming he did what he believed was right. Matt is left feeling disappointed and betrayed by his friend's actions. At the hospital, everyone anxiously waits for Matt so they can begin the transplant procedure. As the minutes tick by, their apprehension grows. When Ginny's father reveals that he entrusted Matt with the remaining balance, they all assume that he has run away with the money and will not be coming. Ginny is devastated by this revelation. Master Ollie orders his men to attack Matt, Sam, and Sean. As they are being beaten, Sean resists and is shot by one of Master's men. Matt realizes that Master Ollie intends to kill them, as he seems to enjoy watching them suffer. Master Ollie hands Sega a gun and asks him to shoot him in exchange for his own freedom. However, Sean decides to shoot Master instead. Matt seizes one of Master's men's guns and starts firing back. Tragically, Sean is shot in the process. With Master and his men dead, Matt rushes to Sega, who is critically wounded with a bullet lodged in his chest. Despite his injuries, Sega encourages Matt to go to the hospital to save Ginny before he succumbs to his wounds. Matt arrives at the hospital bloodied and rushes to see Ginny, who is surprised to see him in that state. He tells her that he is here for the surgery. After examination, the doctor says that Matt is in a bad state and not medically fit to donate. However, Matt insists on the transplant and makes a video stating that even with the complications, he consents to his liver being donated. Ginny's parents are surprised at his level of selflessness and pray he makes it through. They know he is doing this for the immense love he has for their daughter and not for money. Hours later, the surgery is successfully carried out. Ginny is recovering well and is awake, but Matt isn't doing well due to the trauma he has suffered. Ginny insists on going to see him. She wants to be sure he's alive. After persistently asking, she is taken to his ward. Her heart breaks as he is unconscious. She tries waking him up to no avail. She thinks he will die. She cries and tells him how much she loves him and the huge sacrifice he has made by giving her a second chance at life. She hears the monitor beeping. As she looks up, she realizes his eyes are dimly opened. He made it. At this point, she knows he will stay alive, and they will spend their lives happily. Matt smiles at her, and she smiles back.